Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into, well, one of the world's most incredible and complex urban ecosystems, the World Trade Center. It's not just a collection of buildings, it's this dynamic confluence of commerce, memory, and transit, a place where millions of unique journeys intersect every single day. Imagine trying to navigate an intricate, multi-layered environment where, over 500,000 people commute and visit daily. From the soaring towers right down to the sprawling connections underground. It's immense. So our deep dive today is basically your essential guide to mastering pedestrian safety within this really unique urban hub. We've meticulously combed through our sources to pull out the specific insights and practical strategies you'll need to help you move through the WTC campus not just safely, but with a new level of confidence and efficiency. Think of it like unlocking the hidden logic of its flows. Okay, let's start by really trying to understand the WTC's core environment. It's not just about, wide avenues. It's understanding its varied pedestrian flows. You've got the surge of rush hour commuters, the more reflective pace of memorial visitors, and how all these interact with its integrated transportation systems. Why is getting this specific understanding so crucial here?
Well, what's truly insightful about the WTC is how its design itself really influences movement. It's not just general awareness, right? It's recognizing that the architectural layout, the sheer verticality of the buildings, and those interconnected subterranean networks create these unique multi-directional flows. It's really quite unlike typical street-level crossings. Understanding these dynamics, like how people suddenly appear from escalators or tunnels, or maybe how a sudden gust of wind near a tower might affect your balance, it gives you a kind of predictive edge. It shifts you from just, trying to avoid incidents to actively contributing to a secure, seamless environment for everyone.
That makes perfect sense. A predictive edge. I like that. So if understanding the environment is the foundation, what are the core principles of movement, the things that elevate mere caution to genuine mastery in a place like this? What's the secret sauce for navigating such a complex space?
Right. The cornerstone is maintaining heightened situational awareness. But like you said, with a WTC-specific lens, this isn't just about looking ahead. It's actively observing your surroundings, anticipating those unique multi-level hazards, and being acutely mindful of other pedestrians and the occasional service vehicle. For instance, the reflective surfaces on some WTC buildings can create visual distortions, or the sudden emergence of a large tour group from a side exit can shift the flow in an instant. Your full attention truly needs to be on your path. And of course, always adhere to designated pedestrian pathways, crosswalks, and traffic signals. These aren't just suggestions, they're absolutely integral to the WTC safety design. They're engineered to guide precise movement and minimize conflicts.
You touched on distractions there, which I think we all wrestle with, right? Especially somewhere visually stunning like the WTC. What's the biggest risk you see from distractions there specifically?
Yeah, distractions like mobile phones or headphones, they can profoundly impair your ability to react to changing conditions. And at the WTC, the consequences can really be amplified. I mean, imagine being engrossed in your screen and missing a crucial directional sign in the Oculus, causing you to suddenly stop right in a high traffic flow. Or maybe not hearing an announcement for an impending train departure down in the PATH station. The integrated nature of the WTC means a momentary lapse can have this, ripple effect. It's really about consciously choosing to disengage from your device to fully engage with your environment.
Okay, let's transition from those general principles to some practical navigation tips. For the WTC's most iconic high-traffic areas, when you're moving through the campus, generally speaking, it sounds like it's about maintaining a steady, predictable pace, avoiding sudden stops that can disrupt the flow behind you, and constantly being aware of people converging from, sometimes unexpected directions, like from underground passages or those high-speed escalators.
Absolutely. And within the PATH station, that's the Port Authority Trans-Hudson, connecting New Jersey to Manhattan and other big transit areas like the Fulton Center, following directional signage and announcements closely is paramount. And these aren't just for newcomers, They're vital during peak hours when the sheer volume of commuters creates these dynamic, almost fluid pedestrian flows. A pro tip for these areas? During rush hour, definitely allow ample space for boarding and alighting from trains. Don't push. Patience actually gets you through faster and safer, believe it or not.
All right, fighting the flow just slows everyone down. Okay, so after navigating the intense flow of the transit hub, many visitors find themselves drawn to a very different kind of space, the 9/11 Memorial Plaza. It's profoundly reflective, obviously, yet it's also a high-traffic area. How do you balance those two realities? It seems like a real challenge.
It is, and that's where the challenge of balancing personal contemplation with collective flow truly comes into play. It's about respecting the reverence of the site. while understanding its operational realities. Our sources really emphasize maintaining a respectful awareness. Stay on designated quiet zones and pathways, sure, but also be mindful of others who may be moving slowly, stopping for quiet reflection, or observing the memorial pools. It requires a kind of heightened sense of empathy and spatial awareness simultaneously.
Empathy and spatial awareness. That's a
Yes.
great way to put it. Okay, let's pivot to a topic we all hope we never need, but absolutely must be prepared for: emergency procedures and evacuation protocols. In an unexpected situation, what's the single most critical thing to remember? Like the first thing you do?
The most critical thing, perhaps surprisingly, is the simplicity and power of remaining calm. Seriously. In an emergency at the WTC, your immediate focus should be on following instructions from official personnel. We're talking security guards, police officers, building staff. Their guidance is critical. They have the real-time information and are trained to direct the flow of thousands of people. It overrides pretty much all other instincts. Just listen to them.
Okay, stay calm, follow instructions. Got it. And what about proactive knowledge? Should we be doing some homework beforehand if we, frequent these spaces?
Absolutely. Think of it as building your own internal GPS for safety. Familiarize yourself with emergency exits and evacuation routes in the specific buildings and public spaces you use often within the WTC complex. Knowing multiple escape paths, for example, which exits in the Oculus lead to street level versus, say, other underground passages that can be vital. And if an evacuation is ordered, always proceed to designated assembly points. These are predetermined safe areas, usually a little further away from the immediate complex. That's where you can gather safely and get further instructions from emergency responders.
That makes perfect sense. Plan ahead, know your exits. Now, what about those special situations that change the usual flow, like ongoing development or big events? The WTC complex is, well, it's perpetually evolving, isn't it?
Yeah.
Always seems to be new construction.
You're exactly right. The WTC is kind of a living, breathing construction site in many ways. And that means you always need to be particularly aware of construction zones, temporary barriers, and altered pedestrian paths. These aren't just minor detours sometimes. They can significantly reroute foot traffic, creating unexpected bottlenecks or pinch points. Always follow all posted signs and any instructions from construction personnel. They're there to guide you safely through these dynamic changes.
Right. Don't try to cut through the construction zone. And speaking of dynamic, the WTC is also a huge magnet for special events, right? From holiday markets to concerts. How do crowd dynamics shift during these times, and what's the best way to navigate them?
Oh yeah, during special events, crowd density can increase dramatically. It completely transforms the typical flows. You need to exercise extra caution, try to maintain some personal space if you can, and be acutely aware of potential bottlenecks, especially near entrances and exits to event spaces. It's like the entire area becomes this moving river, and you need to be part of its flow without getting, caught against the current. Avoid pushing or rushing, definitely. If you start to feel overwhelmed in a really large crowd, try to move towards the periphery or find a less congested area if possible. And this is critical too. Always keep a very close eye on children or any vulnerable individuals in your care. They can easily get separated in dense crowds. I remember once walking through the winter market there, I saw a family nearly lose track of their youngest kid just because of the sheer volume of people. It really highlights how quickly the environment can change.
Wow, yeah, that story really drives the point home. Scary stuff. This brings us to a crucial aspect that maybe gets overlooked sometimes. The role of individual vigilance and collective safety. It's not just about your safety, is it?
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's really about the collective intelligence and shared responsibility of the whole community using the space. If you observe any suspicious activity, see an unattended package, or notice unsafe conditions like a spill or a broken step, immediately report them. The WTC has a very robust security presence. Know where the nearest security personnel are, or just call 911. Your vigilance contributes directly to the safety of everyone. And tied to that, it's also vital to stay informed. Check the official WTC websites, maybe their social media channels, or public announcements for any changes to pedestrian routes, security alerts, or event-related information. Reliable, timely information sources are your best ally in navigating safely.
Okay, so to sort of recap our deep dive into navigating the World Trade Center safely, we've moved beyond just generic advice. We've looked at understanding its truly unique environment, those multi-directional flows, the impact of its architecture, the verticality. We've refined the core principles of safe movement for this specific context, offered practical nuanced tips for key locations like the transit hubs and the reflective Memorial Plaza, and covered how to handle emergencies and special situations like construction at major events. And of course, we've reinforced your vital role in contributing to community safety by reporting concerns and staying informed. It's a lot, but it all connects.
It does. And here's maybe a thought for you to carry beyond this deep dive. While we focused on the World Trade Center and its very distinct challenges, these principles, heightened awareness, proactive preparedness, shared responsibility, they aren't confined to this single iconic location, right? How might you apply this very same mindset, this active observation, informed action, and collective vigilance? How could you apply that to other complex or densely populated urban hubs you encounter? Think about busy airport terminals, maybe major sports stadiums during a big game, or even those highly integrated shopping districts you find in some cities. What specific elements in those environments could benefit from this kind of deep dive approach to safety? It makes you think, doesn't it?